What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to open 3 envelopes and share with you the players that just recently signed for me. So let's just jump right into this. This first one is postmarked. I can't really tell. It looks like North Carolina, but the machine kind of made it a little messy. And it is a return from former Baltimore Orioles pitcher Dave Ford on 1, 2, on 82 Donruss, a third on, of course, the all-time Orioles set, and the final one is a 1980 Topps Future Stars, already signed by Wayne Krynczeki. And Mr. Ford signed it in blue Sharpie underneath his picture there, which it looks excellent, which leaves me with still needing Mark Corey on there. And we're going to talk about Mark Corey and his other card here in a minute because I already opened the next envelope. But this one turned out really nice. I just really wish Mr. Ford would have used a blue Sharpie on the all-time Orioles card. And if you can kind of see these, they're signed in black, but I think they would have looked so much better in that blue Sharpie. So I'm not really sure why he did that, but I'm glad that he matched the ink on this one. It looks a lot nicer so than it would have with a black signature on there. So let me tell you a little bit about Dave Ford. Dave Ford grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. He attended high school in Cleveland, Ohio, and he was selected in the first round, 23rd overall in the 1975 amateur draft. At 18 years old, Ford found him in the rookie ball and single A affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles, and he worked his way up through 1978 through their system. In 1978, he went 11-6 in AAA, which garnered him a call-up where he appeared in 2 games, starting one of them for the Orioles in 1978. In 1979, he would return to AAA, and he would go at 6-5, but he would also get a chance at the majors where he'd get to start 2 games, appearing in 9, having a 2-1 record with a 2.10 ERA. Well, going into the 1980 season, he made the team in the bullpen with the Baltimore Orioles. Unfortunately, he struggled, and he went 1-3 with a 4.2 ERA that year. Well, the next year, he split time between AAA and the majors at 24 years old, and he struggled at the majors with a 6.5 ERA that year. Well, in 1982, the Orioles sent him strictly to AAA. He did not return to the Orioles that season. And in 1983, he split time between the Oakland A's and the Baltimore Orioles AAA affiliates. In '84, he was in AAA for Oakland again, and in 1985, he would pitch for the Milwaukee Brewers organization for only 3 games before leaving baseball professionally. So after he was 24 years old in 1981, so this would have been the 81 season, this is an 82 card, that was it for Dave Ford in the majors. I don't know if he, had some injury issues or something along those lines, but he definitely, he got to the majors relatively fast for a first-round pick, and it just faltered, and by 24 years old, he was out of the majors. So stuck around a little bit longer, but just couldn't get back there, until he finally hung it up at 28 years old. But I was able to get Wayne Krynczeki to sign this before he passed away. Wayne was a good ball player for many years with the Orioles organization, and he actually was a coach in an independent league. And I happened to see Wayne, and he signed a nice stack of cards for me, including the rookie card here. And I'm going to most likely send it to Mark Corey because now I'm going to tell you about the next person I got back. All right, this one's postmarked from Florida, and it is a return from former Baltimore Oriole Floyd Rayford, and he signed in blue Sharpie, and he also signed the all-time Orioles card. And if you recall, this card from a few videos back, and I'll post it up here in the corner for you to see, with Jim Wright, Floyd finished that card off with Jim Wright already on there. And he also signed his rookie card, which features Mike Bodiger and Mark Corey again. So the idea is I was going to get Floyd to sign this and then send this off to Mark Corey. Well, unfortunately, as you can see in the corner here, it got a little smudged on the return back. So the bad news is this card got smeared. The good news is I do have a blank copy of this card, and I'm just going to probably send that to Mark Corey. But I also have a signed version that I got from Floyd back in person a long time ago that I might send to Mark. And after Mark signs it, along with hopefully this card as well, I'll send it off to Mike Bodiger, who charges a small fee to finish it off. So let me tell you about Floyd Rayford and his playing career and his minor league coaching career. Born in Memphis, Tennessee, Rayford relocated to California, where he was discovered and drafted in the 4th round by the California Angels in the 1975 draft, which also is the same draft as Dave Ford. And after signing with the Angels at just 17 years old, he played from 1975 to 79 with the California Angels affiliate. Well, in 1979, in June, he was traded from the California Angels for Larry Harlow. He would spend the rest of the 79 season with the Baltimore affiliate and would spend 107 games in 1980 with the Baltimore Orioles AAA affiliate, where he would be called up for 8 games during the 1980 season. Well, in 1981, he would return to AAA for the Orioles full-time at 23 years old, and he would spend most of 1982 pretty much as a backup catcher for the Orioles at the Major League level, appearing in a few games in AAA. Well, in 1983, he started the year in AAA. Well, in June of 83, he would be traded from the Baltimore Orioles to the St. Louis Cardinals for a player to be named later. He would spend the 83 season as a backup in the Cardinals, and after the 83 season, the Cardinals would sell him back to the Baltimore Orioles for cash. He would spend all of 1984 and 1985 up with the Orioles, and in 1986 he would split time between AAA and the majors with the Orioles. 1987 he would appear in 20 games for the Orioles, but would spend most of the year, 48 games, in AAA. After the 87 season, he was released by the Orioles and would bounce around the minors in the Phillies system until he retired in 1991 at the age of 33. During his latter couple seasons with the Phillies AAA affiliate, he would serve as a player coach, which would lead him to a long stint as a minor league coach. And this would be him right here, during his player coach era, I guess you would call it. Rayford would be a minor league coach for different organizations all the way through 2011. I actually ran into Floyd when he was the hitting coach for the Quad City River Bandits, and that's when I was able to actually get him to sign this card, way back when as well. I, of course, wasn't doing the Orioles set back then, otherwise I would have had him sign that. But I'm very happy to finish this card off. I'm hoping that I can finish this one off again. I have a blank. I might just send to Mark Corey, or I'll send the one, I'll have to dig the one out that Floyd already signed and send it to Mark. It's unfortunate that that smudge happened, but I'd rather have it happen on a blank card than the one that Jim Wright signed already. So I want to thank Mr. Rayford for adding another Oriole to my collection. Now this final one is postmarked from Kansas City, Missouri, and it is indeed a former Royal great, Willie May Aikens on 1, 2, 3 on a senior league card, and a 4th senior league card as well. So 2 Royals cards and 2 senior league cards. I did not pay a fee to get these signed. I know sometimes Willie has charged, sometimes he hasn't. I just think it's kind of hit and miss. If you want to send him a donation, I'm sure he'd greatly appreciate it, but he signed these luckily for me for free. So, like I said, he might sign for free, he may not. So it's up to you to send a donation. So let me tell you a little bit about Willie Aikens. Willie May Aikens grew up in South Carolina, and he was actually playing baseball at South Carolina State University when they disbanded their baseball team. He was playing semi-pro baseball when he was discovered by a scout of the California Angels. The California Angels were impressed with Willie May Aikens, and they made him in the 1975 draft. This is purely coincidental, but all three of these guys were drafted in the 1975 draft. I did not plan that for this video, but that's just kind of how it worked out. He signed with the Angels, and he played in the minor leagues for the Angels at 20 years old, and worked his way up from 75, 76, and 77 to the major leagues, in making his major league debut in 1977 at 22 years old with the Angels. Aikens did not hit any home runs that year with the Angels and batted under 200. Well, going into the 78 season, they returned him to AAA, and he responded by appearing in 133 games, batting .326, cracking 29 home runs and 110 RBIs. Well, 1979, the Angels had to make a spot for him. He appeared in 116 games, batting .280 and hitting 21 home runs in his first full season in the majors. Despite his success with the Angels in '79, the Angels decided to trade him to the Kansas City Royals for Al Collins, Todd Cruz, and Craig Eaton. Well, Aikens would find a home with the Royals, and he would respond appearing in 151 games and hitting 20 home runs his first season with Kansas City. Aikens would be a mainstay on first base for the Royals all the way through 1983, where he would hit 17, 17, 20 home runs, and 23 home runs respectively those seasons. Well, after the '83 season, the Royals decided to trade him to the Toronto Blue Jays for Jorge Orta. He would spend the '84 and '85 seasons with Toronto. However, he would not have the success like he did in Kansas City, where he would only bat .205 his first year with the Blue Jays and hit 7 home runs. In 1985, he would spend most of the year in AAA, where he had some success, hitting 16 home runs and batting over .300, but it did not translate in 1985 at the major league level, where he only appeared in 12 games. Well, after the '85 season, the Blue Jays decided to let him go, and he signed a minor league deal with the New York Mets. He only appeared in 4 games with the Mets in 1986 in AAA, which little did he know the Mets would go on to win the World Series that year, and he would leave professional baseball at the age of 31. Well, after he retired as a player in the majors, he made an appearance in the senior league, obviously, and he spent a couple seasons there, or at least a season there. But after his time in the 90s, he got into some legal issues. I'm not going to get into the legal issues that he got into. They were drug-related issues that he had, and he actually was sentenced to serve in prison. And from the mid-90s till 2008, Mr. Aikens was in prison. He was released in 2008 from prison and has been living in the Kansas City area ever since. I have never had a chance to meet Mr. Aikens. I always thought I would maybe get a chance to see him because prior to the virus, I was able to, get around to different autograph signings. But I just decided to stick these in the mail to him and get them signed, adding a couple more senior league autographs to the collection. In closing, I want to thank Mr. Rayford for finishing off the dual card here with Jim Wright. It's unfortunate that card got a little smudged, like I said, but I got another Orioles card in my collection. I also want to thank Mr. Ford for signing his cards and also getting the Orioles card signed for me. I look forward to the chance to sending this to Mark Corey to finally get the card finished off, since I already have Wayne Krzyzewski on there. I hope you enjoyed this episode, learning about these 3 players from the 1980s. I look forward to your comments below. As always, happy collecting.